It's like an abandoned film set, Martine said when they reached the ballroom after a lightning search of the rest of the hotel. A task made easier because many of the rooms were missing doors or windows. It's as if a plague or some terrible catastrophe has swept away all the actors and dancers. They stood on the terrace, breathing in the salty night air and listening to the rhythmic swish-swish of the sea. It was hard to believe that it was only yesterday that they'd stayed up till dawn trying to save the beach dolphins. Martine yawned. "I'm so tired," she said. "I feel like we've been awake for days." "That's because we have," was Ben's dry reply. A sweeping yellow beam sent them diving for cover. They'd temporarily forgotten about the guard. They crawled back into the ballroom and hid behind the piano. After a while, they heard his footsteps retreating. "We'll have to think of a way to get into the staff apartments," Ben said. "There's nothing here." Martine put her hand on his arm. "Wait. We haven't looked upstairs. It's probably just a bar or lounge area. The whole hotel is empty. The bar is not going to be any different." Martine's gaze followed the curve of the spiral staircase high into the black darkness of the upper floor. It looked like the last refuge of the ghosts of Paradise Island's penal colony. The prisoners who'd lived or died in torment centuries before the Sunseekers arrived to lounge beside the ocean or twirl beneath the twinkly lights on the ballroom floor. We have to be sure," she said. "What if it is different?" The second story was, as Ben had suspected, a bar and a lounge, but he was wrong about it being empty. Big plastic bundles lined one wall, and there was a desk and a filing cabinet in front of the windows. Moonlight spilled in, but it wasn't bright enough for their purposes. They needed the torch if their hunt was to be effective. After several long minutes studying the grounds below for any sign of life, they decided to risk switching it on. The first thing they saw was the contents of the clear plastic bundles. "The cables!" exclaimed Martine. "So maybe we are on the right track after all," Ben said. But the filing cabinets were as dreary as the boxes had been over in the restaurant area. Whatever else the men were doing, their record-keeping could not be faulted, not if the neatness of their handwriting was anything to go by. File after file revealed nothing more riveting than orders for cement and letters from the planning department reporting delays to building work. I guess if there was anything important here, the door would be locked," Ben said disappointedly. "Their computers, phones, and radios are probably in their apartments." They were just about to leave when Martine spotted a wire basket beneath the desk. Ben handed her the torch, and she moved the chair and grabbed it. Inside was a single ball of paper. She smoothed it out. It was a printout of an email. The sender's address had been torn off, but the message was still intact. "Dear M, thank you for your kind permission to conduct a further test near Dugong Island on the date agreed. Please be advised that it will take place at 1200 hours and will be 235 decibels. Payment is as before. VS." "Sonar testing," said Ben, crouching down beside her. "Has to be. What else could they be testing that's measured in decibels? Somehow these guys have got mixed up in it." Martine looked at the printout again. "It doesn't have a date on it, but it could be the test that Claudius was telling us about. That means we have until noon tomorrow to stop it. Or is it today already? Do you think it's past midnight?" She turned off the torch. "Oh, Ben, the test that drove the whales to their deaths in the Bahamas was 235 decibels. I remember that because those were the first three digits of our phone number at Salbona. Underwater, 235 decibels. Sounds like a rocket taking off. If it's true about the test, we're in way above our heads. Over our heads," Ben said. "We have to find a phone or a radio and get a message to my father's ship. If we can reach him, he'll contact the Coast Guard or the Navy. We're going to need some outside help." Keeping low, they crept over to the arched doorway. Ben put a finger to his lips. "Shh! Did you hear that?" "Hear what?" whispered Martine. But by then a hand was descending from the darkness like a club, smashing her face into the floor and wrenching her arm behind her back, and it was already way too late. Oh my goodness, what is going to happen now?